pull out the cord. Probably gonna get shut off in the middle of the live stream again. Okay, so the pedophiles who rule this fucking country, and clearly, obviously, a bunch of pedophiles, because why else would my entire generation be so fucking brain dead and compromised? My young generation, are so divided that not a single relationship will ever fucking last. The best part is how they've destroyed, ruined the outlook of our entire lives. The outlook of our entire lives, only to end up infecting the innards of that already totally fucking fucked up fucking outlook of a life. And then now, you know, they seem to have chilled the fuck out these 5G towers since about yesterday. So now it's finally not burning even in the shade. Basically they're planning to exterminate us. We're becoming a liability to them now because we are all waking up. At least in some way that the discussion has moved, so it's not so much to argue their existence, but what they're actually doing. We know that something is going on now. Something, but what? Who is the real enemy? Is it the homeless people? Are the homeless people the elite? And they just cast off any need to serve their public image, so they go homeless? No, they just sabotage people and go crazy because they've thrown their need to uphold an image to the wind so far. They will do the craziest fucking shit you've ever seen anyone do in your life. Not in not in a good way, just in like they'll be screaming their ass off, not making any sense, or pretending to be autistic or something, pretending to be retarded, and just as a means of cover. This shit's just like fucking crazy. The elite aren't what we all want them to be. They're not necessarily dumb motherfuckers who are, whatever. They're fucking crazy. They're fucking psychotic. They are willing to do anything to somehow win some spiritual battle. Oh, this is a bunch of self-justifying load of fucking waffle. I care about your ego too, and all the lies your ego wants to convince yourself of, be able to do the things that you do in your stupid fucking waste of a fucking Satan pawn life. When you're just crawling on the arms of Satan for the rest of eternity, well, enjoy the suffering. Yeah, they destroyed the outlook of all of our lives, all of our whole lives. They infect the innards of our fucking lives with their very fucking presence. So now they feel like we're all fucked up enough that, well, we all are fucked up enough. Wearing a diaper on your face for the last 3 years, you're fucking brain dead utterly. 3 years straight. See, doctors take it off every fucking once in a while. Certainly when they go home. If not, after every single time they leave the operating room. And you guys have just been wearing it as if, wearing a thin blanket over your head for the last 3 years fucking straight. and then get all these vaccinations, which I'm sure they put some of their own genes into, and hybridize themselves because they think of themselves as superior and special. And if the world was more like them, then it would be a better place for them. But if only they could ever actually look at themselves in the mirror and realize how much of a problem they always were, and how much of a fucking toxic shithole force on the planet they were, because they were just so selfish and cross-eyedly selfish that they couldn't recognize such negative outcomes beyond their own bias that needs to fill it in with any type of goodness at all. That was pretty good. That girl who fucked me for $1 trillion, it was worth $1 trillion, and she seemed like she would cracked a little bit, like she wanted it at a certain point. Just keep deluding yourself, man. She just got finally turned on after being so turned off for the last while. It's nothing to do with you, it's to do with her sexual fucking organs. So bent in sadomasochism already, and Stockholm syndrome. It's the sadomasochism that really kicks in. They're like, fuck it, life has always been worse than this. Like, this is half decent compared to my fucking horrible fucking life. The thing I'm afraid of, it's not so bad. I don't go to jail to have some sex. Like, as long as it's a female cop. Desperation can get to people. And you fight the patriarchy every day, all day, your whole fucking life. While living in America, you can expect to be alone. You can expect to suffer. You can expect to be sabotaged by everyone who will ever try to call themselves your friend. Because you're attacking the patriarchy. You're attacking their right to fucking this woman. It, wouldn't have unless you guys changed the whole world to make it so that that's just a normal thing to them. 200 years ago they had to force women into bars. 200 years ago they had to force, or even 100 years ago, they had to force women into bars. They had to either pay them or just literally just force them. Now it is a woman's duty. It is a woman's duty to get drunk at a bar on the weekend. I felt really cruel tipping over that woman's beverage to make her drink more of it. I felt really cruel, so now we made it so that they do it themselves. Great scene in Master Z, the Eat Man Legacy movie. Master Z, one scene at a bar, he starts having to work at every single American sailor dude who's in like the Marines or whatever. Because this was in Asia and China, and they were being infected by America, and all the Americans were taking over in those bars, tipping over the women's drinks so that they would get like sick drunk. And all the better, right, guys? All the better for your selfish ass. Yes, you don't care about getting your selfish ass laid. Have you guys ever, I don't know, wanted to live out an epic life? I've heard so many people being like, I'm gonna rewrite the Bible, I'm gonna recreate it. It's not fair the way it is, or some stupid bullshit. And, I can guarantee your life was not that epic that it could actually outdo the fucking Bible. You just don't understand the Bible for what it is. How can you rewrite the truth? veer into darkness and wickedness and watch as your life falls apart. Watch as everything gets worse and harder and slipperier. Rules of reality, man. You should have read the Bible, brother. One cannot seek wickedness and prosper. They will only prosper relative to the hell they've already been living in. Which was probably a worse situation, but they're so used to hell, used to demons being their counsel and company, that they'll probably think of it as something beneficial. Better off with this piece of shit, because everyone's a piece. Every guy's a selfish piece of shit, and so I'm better off just settling down with this guy because he has money. Fuck it. Life sucks anyways. Fuck it, right? Wrong. If only we all weren't so goddamn absolutely assimilated, you'd be able to make a choice of your own ever. Benefit yourself by settling down with someone who's obviously a good man and obviously not like every single selfish piece of shit you've ever fucking met. You just don't know how to make your own moves. You're so used to men fucking flopping like fish all over you that you've never, in this whole bullshit fucking thing. Oh yeah, men are supposed to make the move. Men are supposed to make the move. The men who make the move are selfish jerkwads. Period. Always, only, ever. They want to grab the butterfly instead of watching it float around. What are you gonna do with that butterfly? You're gonna watch it sink to the ground, man. Now you can help that magic dance. The direction it's dancing in is the most important part. Anyone can make a woman be like, oh yeah, yeah. But to actually benefit her fucking life, you gotta be doing a little something more than anything you guys ever do. You have to be giving her truth instead of feeding her a bunch of bullshit stories about your bias about your fucked up life, man. Oh, they agree with your bias too. Wow. What a card. They agree with your bias? No way. That's impossible. That is impossible. In fact, it's the only possibility that it's so far-fetched, man. Is it natural to sit inside of a box your whole fucking life? Will you know anything about reality after having sat in that box your whole life? No. So when you go back out into nature and you hear the birds and the trees, wind through the leaves and the streams, you'll be reconnecting back with yourself. Re-downloading, for the first time in a long time, that which makes you you. All this Babylonian society can do is chain you up to keep you around because you got a pretty face. Pretty faces pay and they suck dick real nice. And of course, you know, to robbing the outlook and infecting the innards and potentially exterminating us in the end. Uh, the whole time while the outlook of our lives is robbed, we're sitting in a box inside of a cubicle, being all like this. Removing the darkness that might be building up in our knuckles and fingers, building up darkness in every single other part of our body, which will be blocking our authentic nature from flowing, which will cause us to become more desperate and our standards and inhibitions to drop as we become less capable and thus more idolizing of other people around us. Then, then it's all lost. It's all lost right there. So, because if you idolize fucking everyone, anyone, what do you truly understand at all? You understand, you understand nothing. You know nothing. It's clearly there are people who can only demonically affect you because they're just so full of demons that you might as well call them hell. But then you just end up dating them because they got some seemingly adult-like characteristics. They really seem to know themselves. Really seem to be on top of something here. They're figuring something out, and I don't know what it is. I'm interested. Let's figure it out. Stick around. Oh, he's making fun of that guy again. Yeah, that guy probably is a loser after all. Must be. Why else would he make? How could he make fun of him for so long? We can all make fun of each other. Just who is the one doing it in order to grab the woman? In order to say, me, when all he's doing is being jealous that he doesn't have your attention fully yet. So he's trying to rob it away from the people who deserve it. Because, they're the one trying to grab and squeeze and crush the butterfly and tell the butterfly what to do and how to be and try to, influence the butterfly into darkness. Me, I'm just sitting around playing music, smoking, being largely, probably speaking my mind out to just the world around, to the wind. And, that is power. Of course, they're attracted to that, but of course, men who live in this society will see that and be, like in the same sense that he wouldn't pick his nose ever again in front of a woman. He would never speak his mind while being alone in front of women because it's just so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Wow. I really must have a lot of problems there. Yeah. See, because if I was to speak my mind like that, it would go horribly. That's why I never do it. Yeah, I know. Because while you're by yourself, it'd just be the biggest pile of stupidity anyone's ever heard. No wonder. I'm embarrassed at the idea, but take for a second. Notice the context of what I'm saying. It's nothing you actually can refute. Nothing you can refute directly. Probably be saying something like, you really shouldn't drink alcohol if you want to end up with people you actually care about, who won't negatively affect you accidentally, because that's exactly what alcohol does. It removes your care on higher levels so that you're accidentally an asshole when you don't mean to be. It's a matter of your care on higher levels. Your care tree was burnt. by the alcohol. And so that, some people will be like able to rise out of power out of that. Uh, because now they no longer care about, being seen doing whatever it is or care about whatever. Whatever it was that was there to protect them is gone. Protect their image is gone. And so now they embarrass themselves. And that's the only option on alcohol, is to embarrass yourself. Of course, others, your friend circle might not admit it, others might not even see it. I wonder why it's the main drug of this country, aside from coffee or synthetics. Coffee, synthetics, alcohol, all legal. Everything else, aka the natural shit, illegal. Huh. I wonder. Why must that be? It's funny, you can literally lead yourself by doing exactly the opposite of what your government tells you to do. And you will be doing the right fucking things. Hey, put a mask on. Fuck you. Put your own goddamn mask on if you think it's gonna help you. I mean, it's the same as handing us all a bunch of guns and telling us it'll protect us. Not exactly the same, but the same conceptually nonetheless, because not only will our masks not be what ultimately protects us, it'll be God that ultimately protects us. He's the one who gives us the very breath that we breathe if we're ever breathing. But it will not help us also because we're flocking to a material thing for protection, safety. Material thing. Isn't that the thing that all gods laugh at? Uh, the godless, doomed. The godless are doomed. Might have a 3-day lifespan, the godless. And no one would notice, no one would care. I don't know, someone might care, but I need my donut. Come here, donut. Get you my donut. I'd say that's about all I have to say right now. I suppose other than this, as you get closer to God, Satan will test you ever greater. And in this world, it's fucking crazy, but it really is, in the end, actually all a test of our faith. It's crazy the ways it works specifically, the ways we are specifically tested, because, take that test and put it 3 years earlier or later in your life, and it would just have ruined you. You wouldn't have had any idea. You probably would have broken for years. It's just gone in a whole horrible direction. What the time that test came to you was perfect, and so um, we tend to generalize the idea of tests and form a negative conclusion about it to be like, this isn't even the case. It's not a bunch of tests. This is all a lie. This is all a lie. It's all actually the whole material world is our base, and this is all we have. And that's just Hades. That's just Satan. It's crazy. Like, where is the path? What is the true path? So, when it truly, totally falls into God, doesn't learn any type of, self-responsibility for the world, so as to be like, I'm gonna throw my life to the dust in the effort to fight that which oppresses all. And so it's like, there's that complacency that can happen, like Jonah got swallowed by the fish, which isn't supposed to be happening. We are supposed to be like the vigilant, mad street preachers, us Christians. Because how else will this country turn from its ways? And we sit around in our churches and complain about it, try to repair the damage it does. But if we attack the source, then I feel like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing as people who not only trust the protection of God, but also, are able to see truly the effects of someone being taken over by demons, which is what this society is the gateway for. I want to convince you that it's marijuanas. It's the marijuanas that's the gateway to all evil things. When literally, it's this society. The education it offers, materialistic, reductionistic, string of nonsense, pile of lies that back the other lies that they're going to teach you next. I'll convince you to download yourself into the material, and that the material is like the pinnacle of all thought and understanding. And that unless you can materially proof it, then it's not worth thinking about. And that's just all nonsense that will take you away from any iota of what God has to offer you in terms of understanding, wisdom. It's not in the material. You can dig out the planet, take out all the jewels, but you will be empty-handed as ever unless you obtain some real understanding along the way. Like, hey, this isn't truly treasure. I can hold it in my hands. I can sell it for money. But what is that? It's just this material thing. It's just those jewels. It's just a single cool color in like a little glass thing. It's just that. When a true spiritual, colorful spiritual treasure will change the rest of your life, benefit it utterly. It won't run out. we are where the treasure is hidden. If we seek it out inside ourselves, we can not only benefit truly our own life, but the world unto utopia. So once we recognize that collectively, that literally success is held within, success is found within, if we can embrace that as a society, we will no longer be damning each other so heavily in everything and every way we treat each other, everything we force upon each other. And it won't just be that. Of course, there's so many ways to negatively follow up on a good idea. So many ways that demons could just be like, oh, that and that and that. Good ideas come more good ideas, and that's all the hope is. Of course, last thing I'm going to say, with a good idea, we could build utopia. See, because it's a good idea to do something to make our lives more enjoyable in all of us. So if it's a good idea to make our lives more enjoyable, and that could motivate us to be doing something, like say constructing something, because it's a good idea that we'll enjoy our lives more. And what would stop us from building a world over amusement park festival for everyone to be performing music at? If you're a musician, be riding a roller coaster at, if you want to be having some crazy, adventurous, danger-esque fun, freaking launch pad, wingsuit, parachute, transportation system. Probably some giant slingshot whoosh, sends us into the lower part of the atmosphere, and then we can travel 1,000 miles in one trip potentially. Jetpack with a wingsuit with a jetpack, that would be, Of course, they've already invented it. I'm just saying. Slingshot to a wingsuit, jetpack, transportation system with the parachute. Don't be kamikazes, bring the parachute. God bless you. God is the way.